Hello and welcome to another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest today, Debbie Kivitz. She's the director of Bully Busters, and it's her first time on the TV show. She has been with me on the radio before, but first time on TV, so welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me back on. I appreciate it.
So tell us about Bully Busters. What is that?
Well, we're a grassroots organization. We're going on 14 years in the greater Norwich area. 90% of us are volunteers. You know, we volunteer at this. I mean, like I said, me and my person who's not on camera has helped created it through grassroots efforts, through parents, teachers, and kids around the kitchen table, around some major incidents that were happening in the school around bullying. And we said, what can we do? And we started this grassroots effort about just making awareness of it and saying, you know, enough's enough. No more kids.
There must have been something, there's an impetus, there's something always happens in a person's lives where they suddenly have a vested interest in something. Did something happen with you, to you, or maybe a family member?
Yeah, my son was being picked on and being bullied, but there was another young girl in the local community that got viciously injured at one of the schools from being bullied. And there was a couple incidents, and it was just, okay, we gotta figure this out and try to at least make awareness and say, no, this is not okay.
Right, and I think, I don't know if it's gotten worse, but because there's much more awareness of bullying and because of how technology advances, you know, you have things like cyberbullying and stuff now, the word is out about it. So I think more people are aware of it. That's the good part about it, but organizations like yours, like you said, at the grassroots level, that helps out too because you're in the local community, you're in the school, right? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and some of the schools don't even like you to use the word bullying no more.
That's a bad word?
A bad word, or don't want to hear it. So our efforts is we changed our focus, or not change our focus, but change the terminology about just promoting kindness. Promoting kindness is magical.
The positive, right?
Yeah, and getting kids to speak up. We want to create a culture of upstanders, speaking up, and it's okay to speak up. It's okay to tell that kid. It's not okay to pick on that kid. It's okay to tell a teacher, tell someone, speak up. Because that person that's doing that bullying, he's looking for the audience. He's looking for a reaction.
Right.
But if he's getting a reaction of negative, say it's not okay, and upstanders, we can do it.
I think a tough aspect of that is getting the person being bullied to speak up or say something because, number one, they're afraid.
Yep.
Number two, there's like a pride thing where, you know, if you're not supposed to say anything, maybe you're supposed to just take it, or I'll be looked at as like someone that people can't trust if I rat somebody out or something along those lines. Those are the things that are going through their heads, right?
Absolutely, and that's what happened with my son many years ago. He was being picked on by girls, and it was like macho. He's not going to tell the teacher the girls are picking on him, and for the most part, the teachers didn't believe it. Oh, those are good girls. They don't do those things. So, and there's a lot of it. And girls can be quite vicious and cruel, and they don't let it drop, where boys tend to, they say it, and sometimes they end with a physical thing, and it ends.
But they settle it, and then it's over. With the girls, it's more, I don't know, catty, cagey, maybe something?
Yeah, and they keep it up, and it's just...
So you're saying girls are worse than guys in some cases?
In some ways, yeah, because the girls don't let it drop, and they get everybody involved.
Yeah.
They just spread it and get involved. And
so let's get into that a little bit more. Talk to me about the kinds of bullying that there is.
Well, there's many kinds, and that's where I try to remind the teachers, it doesn't have to be bullying to be not okay. If I just shove you once, if I call your name once, it should be...
That's not okay.
Not
right?
okay. It doesn't even need me to be bullying, tell someone to stop it. Because I know if they tell a teacher, if a kid goes up to a teacher and calls that teacher stupid, or the first time, what do you think's happening to that kid?
Right.
He's either getting sent to the principal, sent home, detention, one of the three.
Right.
So, and that's my message. Teachers, and I'm not trying to bash teachers because it's usually one teacher through 26 kids, if not more. Their job in itself when they walk in that classroom is a challenge.
Right.
So that's where I try to encourage them to don't ignore the little things, because there's a lot of the looks, there's the shunning of the kids, there's the picking, there's the shoving. It's the making fun of where they're from or what they're eating. And in Norwich, we have close to 40 different languages in our schools, so that a lot of times they're picking on their culture.
Right.
So there's a variety of forms, and that go back to, like, if we can create an audience of upstanders and and not just have the teacher can't do it by itself. If these upstanders will speak up, and making sure the teachers are listening to it, because sometimes we were brought up, don't tattle, ignore. Well, no, tattle if it's wrong.
Right.
You
So
know?
if it's being done to you, and the only way to stop it is to speak up, that's what You have to do. So you want to kind of stay on the positive aspect of it, and some schools don't want you to even mention the term bully. Unfortunately, it's part of your name of the organization, so that's going to stay, right?
Yeah, they want it's about school environment and like there's a bullying law that was passed through the state many years ago, and we were part of that, and now they changed it and morphed it into a safe school learning environment. It's about character education and focusing on the environment and positive and different things. All the different schools have different curriculums to try to prevent some of this bullying.
Yeah.
They morphed it in different things, but my thinking is it's not a priority to them a lot of times at the schools because they're so focused on the testing.
Right.
They got
and getting the kids through. Right.
Testing. But my thing is if you focus a little bit about this, some of the testing will go easy because if the kids are in fear and upset and don't want to go to school, they don't care about the test.
Right. Right, but if they feel safe and secure and actually happy, they'll obviously do better on tests, and it's a domino effect for their life, right?
Yeah. And that's where my goal. We've had too many kids in the local area that ended their life over being bullied.
Yeah.
I can't fathom it. That's was their end in sight. They had nowhere to go because no one was listening to them.
So as an organization, how does it work? Are you in the school systems? Do you go into the school? Do you have a place outside of school where people come? How does it all work?
Yeah, we do go into the local schools. We do in Norwich. We do run some after-school programs. It's called YAB, our Youth Against Bullying program. We run it at both middle schools, and we do some programs there. And then we have our office in downtown Norwich. It's 87 Broadway. We run some programs out of there. We have some meetings for parents to come and just vent and get some tips about how they can deal with it and what some strategies they can do to talking with their children. And that's the key thing. Parents got to be communicating with their children, and children got to communicate with their parent. If your son or daughter's coming home and burying themselves in their bedroom or the pillow and not doing anything, there's something there. Talk to them, find out what's going on, and parents got to be role models. It's not just the schools that are, it doesn't just happen in the school. It happens at home, happens in the neighborhood, happens in the grocery stores, happens everywhere. So if we can get people speaking up, and like the local convenience store, if he sees kids coming in picking on other kids, speak up. Say it's not okay.
What's our website for people to go for Bully Busters?
Well, we have a new website that was just updated thanks to my daughter, Catherine Rose. She's my social media person, so I got to give her credit. It's www.norwichbullybusters.com.
All right, we'll put a graphic up on the screen too. What's on the website for people to go and see?
What's on our website is a lot of the programs we do, information about the bullying law, what steps a parent can take when you're dealing with an issue at the school. It is like each school should have a form. When your son or daughter is being bullied, they should give you a form to fill out and the procedures, what's your right as a parent and what the school's policies are.
All right.
So a lot of that information's there.
Check out the website. We'll take a short break and come right back. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay right there. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest, Debbie Kivitz, director of Bully Busters. They're based out of Norwich, Connecticut. One of the things you mentioned when we went to break was your daughter who handles the social media aspect, and that is big these days. It's where the kids are, and it's part of life now. It's part of society. Social media is so important. Even some would argue even more important than a regular website. But with that comes responsibility, and with that comes potential for problems. And social media could be a place where bullying takes place, and in fact does, right? Yeah,
it's the #1 area where kids are doing it. I mean, from all ages, from the younger ages to all the way up.
When you say younger, how young are we talking?
We get from preschool all the way up.
Oh, wow.
And I even get phone calls from elderly people that have been picked on.
Is that right? Wow.
Happens well, if they do it in a younger age and they go to work, there's a lot of workplace bullying going on. There's a lot of, senior citizen bullying going on. So it's all aspect. And it all goes back to what I was brought up is you treat others how you want to be treated. And unfortunately, some people don't see it that way, but that's what I keep encouraging, pushing. But the social media is very serious, and it's parents need to take aware of it and pay attention to that, because if not, that parent can be held accountable on certain areas. They're the one providing that internet service, so check your history and remind your kids. It's whatever they post.
And you should be reading as a parent some of what they post, or all of it. So you should be monitoring it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like they say, you don't let your kid go to a bar and hang out by themselves. Well, that's the same thing. If you let your kid get on the computer or the phone or the game systems without monitoring, you basically let your kid go hang out in a bar and not
because everything can, the game system, the phone, the tablet, anything can get online. So if you can get online, then you can get on social media.
Absolutely, and and that's what I try to tell it. It's permanent. It's like a tattoo. Once you put it on there, you can't get it off. And the kids think they're invisible. On top of that, they think they're anonymous and they can't come back to it. And they can.
That
they can
is
track
so
them.
true.
They can find out 10 years from now. They can go back 10 years and say, "Oh, this is what you posted."
And I think that's part of where the bullying online comes from. The misconception that people have thinking that they are anonymous, when in fact you can easily be tracked by your IP address, by your, not just the internet provider, but just there are a lot of ways. Maybe you try to create a fake profile or name, they can still find out who you are for real.
Oh, absolutely, and that's been the struggle with the schools, because they can take care of what's happened in the school day, but now they got to monitor what's happened once they leave the school, because it still impacts them the next day. Because you got that kid, as this person send over and over to that kid, the next day they come into school and they're dealing with a whole bunch of stuff because what was being posted.
Right.
I know a lot of the schools got to monitor, because these kids keep creating different Facebook accounts and different websites, like from the different schools, and they post all the negativity and, oh, we're going to go and shoot this and do that. And so it's very scary this day, and these kids and parents just got to pay attention to it 24/7, that it's not okay, and you're not invisible.
And it's not just social media, too. It's all aspects of being online. Email, like you said, websites, websites that are inappropriate that you talk about. And another thing that I want to emphasize that you mentioned is, for example, you tweet something, and if you delete it because you regret it, you think it's gone, and it's not gone. Just like they think they're anonymous, they're not really. If you think you've deleted something, it's still out there in the ether, as I like to say, and it happens all the time. And you think it's gone, but someone downloaded or saved the image or something, and that can come back and harm you.
Absolutely, and it also impacts kids as they're trying to find jobs or get into schools. These schools and local employers are looking at what you have posted and what your history was.
Sometimes they request access to your social media so that they can see like what your life is, or your lifestyle is, seeing if you've bashed former employers, because I mean, who wants to hire you if you're bashing somebody on social media?
So, and that's the other thing, parents got to pay attention to that. And kids, I know local high schools are looking at it before. High schools are competitive now. Kids have many choices, so they're looking at that. Okay, this kid posted all this stuff. Do we want him here? So, it's a serious thing, and we should take it serious, because, like I said, we having kids that are ending their lives because of what's been posted online or what they've been said about. So we should take it serious.
Or it could affect for the rest of their lives in some negative way, that they have to live with. Tell me about the law and how we're getting more savvy about the law and what the law does regarding bullying these days.
Well, and I mentioned the law, and a lot of parents say, "Oh, can we go arrest that kid?" Basically, what the law does, it makes the school systems have these policies in place and enforces it and tracks the different tracks of bullying and stuff. And then unfortunately, it's an unfunded mandate, so a lot of the schools frown at that. But it makes each school has to have a policy in place, rules and set what steps parents can take and what they need to do. And then it has to happen in a timely manner. Like when you go in and file that form, that school system has within 48 hours to respond to your complaint and let you know what happened. So it kind of enforces the schools, and the state does come back and look at that data. Okay, this school system in 2014 had 0 reports of bullying, which we know it's not. It can impact some of the school systems, because the state will start taking back funding, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So the schools are paying a little more attention to it, and like I said, they call it different forms of education and stuff, but basically the law enforces the schools that have these policies, and it's a tool for parents and kids and stuff.
Are there parents of bullies who are in denial that their child couldn't possibly be doing that?
Oh, absolutely, and a lot of it's role model. And like I said, you can't be out in the grocery store or in the doctor's office and screaming at somebody and calling so many names and think your kid is not going to say, okay, mommy just screamed at the waitress and called her such a names. Well, I can call Susie these names. And some of it, what's on TV, what they're watching on TV. You got Judge Judy making, calling people morons and stupid and all that stuff on a regular basis. And like, oh, if a judge can do it, why can't I?
Right.
So it's a lot of it's role model, what they're seeing, what is being allowed, and reminding your kids it's not okay. It's okay to become. When I tell kids, I go to, and I always, never understood. I'll tell a kid, a smile can make or break someone's day. And they kind of look at me and say, really? I say, yeah, just try it for a week. Just smile. You don't have to say anything more smiling. They just looked at me and they're like, they all come back and said, that really felt good. I said, a simple smile. Like even coming up here, I was telling my co-person, yesterday I was at Walmart. I thanked the cashier for helping me. And the lady behind said, what were you thanking her for? I said, because I wanted to. And they look at you funny, like when you say please and thank you, or just acknowledging people. It's okay to be kind.
It's like kindness is suddenly gone out of style, you
Yeah.
know, right? But I think, what you said about the role model, I guess it does start with the parents then in some cases, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And the siblings, there's a lot of sibling rivalry, and their old message, oh, it's okay, I'll make them tougher, they'll go back and say this to Susie, and, some of the parents are encouraging it. No, it's not the thing to do. It doesn't make them tougher.
Bullying more prevalent in a certain segment of society, and like you had mentioned, the school system that you work in, Norwich, Connecticut, there are like 40 different languages in the same school system that they have to deal with. Does economics play a role in it? Is it more low income families that are getting more and falling into this trap, so to speak?
Yeah, absolutely, because school just started and you see the kids with the brand new backpacks and you see someone without the brand new backpacks.
Yeah.
Or when they're on spring break, you get the kids that are going skiing up in New York, whatever, and you get the other kids got to stay home. So it's a lot of the economic background, and like if they want to go on a field trip, do they have the funds to go on that field trip? So there's a lot of that. And the school systems try to help with some of that stuff, but it's just the nature. And go back to social media, they'll criticize, oh, you got the same old sneakers from last year. You didn't get the new sneakers. You didn't get the new pen. And a lot of the schools went to the school uniform. They'll eliminate some of that, which has happened.
Do you think that works? Do you
Yes,
think it helps?
yes. And the kids will say, no, it don't, no, it don't. They rather go back. But it does. It eliminates a lot of,
Everybody's the same. They can't make fun of your shoes or your pants or your clothes in general if everybody's wearing the same thing, right?
Yeah. And I think it helps. The kids, they want to be their own stuff, but it does help. And I said, look, you can spend more time on the stuff on when you get home. You don't have to worry about what you're wearing the next day and all that stuff. So, and what we try to do with our Youth Against Bullying, we try to listen to what's going on in the school day with them. I said, we'll go like, how was your day? What are some of the things you're seeing? And they'll say, just tell us. That's how we learned there was another website going around in one of the local middle schools, and that the school system didn't know about it.
What is on a website like that? Is it just like causing trouble?
Yeah. Making fun of kids and threatening, and they're going to come in and do this, they're going to do that, and they take one girl or a boy in particular and start making fun of them, and they constantly creating these different websites, posing inappropriate pictures sometimes. So, and we heard about that, and I said, and then we hear some of the positives too. I said, we did this, and I said, you have a lot of these anti-bullying posters in the office and all that. I said, do you guys look at? He said, no, we don't go down there. He said, they should have them throughout the school, and these posters were phenomenal. The messages. He said, no, they have them in the office. Most of the kids don't go to the office.
Right, they need to be in the hallways where the lockers are. That's where the kids are, right?
So that was some feedback we were able to bring back to the office. I said, you got these phenomenal posters, but they're not doing you any good.
Right.
So, and they help with that. And one of the projects we done in the last couple of years, we've embarked on getting buddy benches in all the local schools.
Tell me about those.
This was an idea created by a young man out of York, Pennsylvania, Christian. He had an idea if he could get a bench into a local school. He thought he was being transferred because his dad was in the service to Germany. He thought it would be cool if he had a bench there that he can sit out there in the beginning and meet free. He ended up being transferred, but he said it still would be a cool idea. So someone sent me the link, and I said, okay, that sounds kind of cool. How can we make that happen here in the greater Norwich area? I said, well, maybe we can get a couple benches. And I put the word out there, and through our partners with Overhead Door and the Rotary Community Corps of Norwich, they said, yeah, we can build them for you. I'm like, okay. So we started getting them building, and then I said, okay, we want to get them painted. We put the word out, and many different local groups and artists and community members and youth groups from local banks to our local church group took it camping, and they painted it. And we have close to 180 benches in the greater Norwich schools.
Wow, that's impressive.
From Norwich to, we're now delivering 10 of them next week to New London public schools.
So you're spreading out.
Yeah.
And the word is getting out, too.
Yeah, and someone said, do you think these benches are going to stop bullying? I said, no. If I thought that, I'd get them in every nook and cranny in the school. It's about promoting kindness. And the feedback we're getting from the schools, they see that. They see the kids sitting at the benches and solving some issues, meeting some people, and it's like and some of the teachers were like, okay, that ain't gonna work, and then it is. And I think a lot of it because they are a lot of them are works of art, and many of the schools painted their own benches, so they take ownership and stuff. So it's been phenomenal. Like I said, we're delivering some to New London and Salem schools, and so I can't thank the schools and for letting us in. Their first was like, okay, we don't. It's not about bullying. I said, no, it's not bullying benches. They're kindness benches.
It's nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So now you have events coming up. You do events periodically, and they're fundraisers, right? What are some of them coming up?
Yeah, and October is National Bullying Prevention Month.
Okay, and that's a nationwide thing, right?
Yep. We hope bullying prevention is year round, but it's one
Right.
month where they focus on and promote the different things on. And the first Saturday in October is a kindness walk. It's from 9 to 11. It starts off at 87 Broadway. We're going to be just about coming and promoting kindness and sharing stories, and we're going to have a big peace circle. We're going to start it off with a peace circle and get folks to just join our peace circle, and we're going to hand out little kindness packets where they just got to go out in the community and spread their kindness from different ways and share stories and stuff. And so that's just one of our events we do. And it's about just coming together, like a sharing stories and promoting kindness. And our method is kindness is magical. So that's October 1st. And then we have October 19th is Unity Day, where Dress in Orange is about Unite Against Bullying. We get local groups and businesses and banks to dress in orange and show their support against bullying. And we'll have a couple workshops and forums throughout the month, too.
And by the way, if you happen to be watching this show it's after that date, the website is the best place to go for this because it has a full list of all the events coming up if you happen to miss one or the other. Always stuff coming up. Now, obviously, you're looking for financial help wherever possible, and that's why you have these fundraisers. What about volunteers? Are you looking for more volunteers?
We could always use volunteers, and if folks want to paint one of our benches, we have many more benches to go. We're embarking in other different schools. So if there's a local organization or youth group that would like to paint a bench, and we'll get it to you. We have a local Girl Scout girl that's how we're getting some in Groton. She's going for a gold badge. And so she wants to get them in the Groton schools, and we're providing her with the 10 benches, and she's going to find different folks to paint them and stuff. So that's a great thing. And so we're always looking for volunteers. Like I said, the kids look at me funny. Say, you don't get paid for this? I said, no, I've been volunteering going on 15 years. It's about you guys. My payment is getting you guys to share this message. And I guess the greatest reward from doing this, going on 15 years, we have kids that have been part of my program that come back and want to do stuff with us.
Nice. So if they're coming back and they're recommending the program and they're a happy result, a positive result, maybe their life was turned around, in part because of Bully Busters, and just realize that their life can go in a positive direction. That makes it all worthwhile for you, right?
Absolutely. Like we have a young girl that's running a program on Saturday. She says, I was part of your program. She had a rough time, and she says, I remember the tools, and you just reached out. So she wants to come back, and she's running a program for Saturday to give kids the same opportunity she did. And that's the best part of these young people that I think, because everybody says, oh, the kids don't care. They don't care. They do. They do. They come back. And
you wouldn't be doing it for 15 years if you weren't seeing results and if you didn't think the kids cared.
No.
Right.
And we got a good rapport with the local school systems. They're very
How about
welcome.
the police departments?
Yeah, we work with them, the resource officers, and they've been part of our program from the day one. And like we're all in this together. We're not here. We're just trying to provide a safe learning environment for our community. And I think it works, as long as I tell the kids, as long as I got a breath in my body, I'll continue doing this and promoting kindness. And it's okay to be kind. It's okay to say thank you. It's okay to help that person. And I said, it takes more effort just to be mean and cruel. It makes you feel bad and others. So, and they look, they say, well, yeah, it does. And then I get to, well, it won't stop. It won't stop. It can. It can. Just try it for 5 minutes from one day. Try it for 5 minutes for one day, and then add on to it.
And like you said, smile for a little while, and just you don't even have to say anything. Just smile and see the positive results that come out of that, right?
Yeah. And we do a lot of community service project with the kids, and they'll come and we'll do a cleanup day. We'll get a bunch of the local kids going, picking up garbage throughout the community. I said, look, guys, you've been picking up garbage for 5 hours. No one's called anybody a name. No one's looked at somebody's funny or shoved anybody. You all were picking up garbage. You weren't picking on people around garbage. If you can do it around that for 5 hours, I think you could do it during the school day. And they just kind of looked at me and said, we didn't think of it that way. You're all getting dirty. You're all,
Right.
So it's interesting when we return it. We're kind of like outside the box type of program. We go along with some of the curriculum, but sometimes you just got to hear what the kids are saying.
Well, I wish you all the success, and I hope that you, I can hear the passion in your voice, and you continue, and others join you, and maybe, bullying can be done away with forever one day. That'd be great. One more time on the website for people to go and learn more.
Yes, and we're also on Facebook. My daughter updates that daily.
There's a link on the website that'll get you right to the Facebook page.
Yep, and I think we're on Twitter, but I'm not sure the link on that, but that's all on there.
Yep.
So we're www.norwichbullybusters.com. And we're located at 87 Broadway. The faith community's been great to us, offering us space to do our programs and stuff. So come check us out. And like I said, kindness is magical. It can be.
Debbie Kievitz, the director of Bully Busters. We learned a lot today. Thank you for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You can see this show and many others on our YouTube site. Till next time, I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Take care.